Hello and welcome to Project of the Week, where I do weird things and show you how to do them. This week I'm going to show you how to make coffee without a coffee machine. I wanted to start by showing you how to use a French press, which is basically one of the easiest ways to make coffee. To start, you want to put some coarsely ground coffee into the French press. I use about 2 tablespoons. Next, you just fill it up with boiling or hot water, put the lid back onto the French press, and let it sit for about 4 minutes or more. Basically, that's all you have to do. You just let it sit there, and the coffee will make itself. But we'll get back to it later. Next, I'm going to show you how to make coffee in a cezve, or as the Russians call it, a turka. Unlike the French press, this method requires more of a hands-on approach. But really, you don't need a fancy cezve for this. You could just use a small pot or pan. So what you need to do is pour some finely ground coffee, the finer the better, into the cezve. I use about a tablespoon, and then fill it up with water and give it a little stir. Then you just put it on a medium heat and wait for it to boil. The only problem with this method is that you have to constantly watch over the cezve because when the water boils, the coffee has a tendency to boil over the top, and if you don't want to spend a lot of time washing off coffee and coffee grounds from your stove, you really should pay attention. I sped up the video 10 times and it still takes a while. Now you can see that the water is starting to boil. When it starts to boil, the water rises up out of the cezve, and you have to be careful to take it off the heat right at that moment so that it doesn't run over the top. I like to let it cool for a little bit, then put it back over the heat so that more caffeine is released into the coffee. I usually do it 2 or 3 times like that. Once I carefully put it over the fire so that it didn't boil over and let it boil for 10 minutes, the coffee wasn't very good, but I felt extra chipper for a while. Turning to the French press, we just push down on the plunger and the coffee is ready. Now the coffee is ready to be served. Poured the coffee from the cezve and the French press into 1 cup, and it turned out pretty good. Even though I spilled a little, which is a shame. But basically, yeah, that's how you make coffee without a coffee machine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to keep making things.